Hello everyone, my dear brothers and sisters, and whoever you are, welcome to this channel. My name is Abdias. Let me remind you that I am one of Jehovah's Witnesses, very proud to be one, and of course, deeply convinced that this organization truly belongs to the one true God, Jehovah. If you want to know my reasons for this, I refer you to videos 3, 4, and 5 on my channel. Last week, we analyzed the mind manipulation that the governing body carried out on the brothers and sisters in update number 7 of 2021 during the 2020 crisis, the famous crisis. In this video, we will continue the same kind of analysis with update number 8 of 2021 presented by Brother Let. I'll leave in the description the steps that will allow you to access this video on the jw.org website. Let's start the analysis. The brother begins. It's a great pleasure to be with you again for this update. We have a lot of positive information to share with you. End of quote. So we are prepared to receive good news. The brother explains that it's a great pleasure to be with us again and tells us that the news we're about to hear is good news, positive information. The brother continues. To begin, I have some important data about COVID-19 vaccination to share with you. We really love all of you very much. And this is a matter of life or death. So we decided to share with you what we know about this subject. End of quote. We really love you very much. This sentence is absolutely not insignificant. It's clearly meant to put the listeners in a state of complete trust with Brother Let, who is about to speak to us. Then he explains that this is a matter of life or death. At that moment, the listener understands that the topic is going to be of utmost importance, since it will be about making decisions that might allow us and our families to stay alive if we make the right choices, or to die if we make the wrong ones. Please understand how, in just a few sentences, Brother Let managed to prepare the minds of the brothers and sisters so that they understand there are people who love them deeply. So they only want what's best for them. These are the members of the governing body. And in order for them and their families to stay alive, they will need to pay attention to the information they're about to be given. It's very subtle indeed. The brother continues. Since June 1st in the United States, 1,407 publishers have been hospitalized because of COVID-19 or because they had symptoms. Among them, less than 1% were fully vaccinated. End of quote. Did you understand? 1,407 brothers and sisters were hospitalized because of COVID, and the vast majority, 99%, were not vaccinated. That's false. That's completely false. What I just said is totally incorrect. That is absolutely not what the brother just said. That might be what you heard in your hearts and in your minds. I'll repeat the sentence for you, and you'll see that it has nothing to do with what you may have understood. The brother tells us, I'll repeat the first part of his sentence for you. Since June 1st in the United States, 1,407 publishers have been hospitalized because of COVID-19 or because they had symptoms. End of quote. So, according to what the brother said, some of these 1,407 brothers and sisters were hospitalized because they tested positive for COVID, and another part simply had symptoms similar to those of COVID. Brother Let, what are the typical symptoms of COVID, then? Well, here they are, the symptoms according to information from Google. Fever, cough, fatigue, sore throat, runny nose, headaches, muscle aches, gastrointestinal issues, loss of smell, loss of taste, hearing loss, conjunctivitis, ear pain, etc., etc. Basically, just about everything. If your fingertip itches, it might be COVID. So obviously, our brothers and sisters who went to the hospital with one of these symptoms, for example, a sore throat, and who stayed there under observation for a few hours or a day or two, are included among those 1,407 brothers and sisters that you subtly present as COVID hospitalizations. Brother Let, that doesn't seem very honest to me. Why didn't you just mention the number of actual COVID hospitalizations? Those are the ones we're interested in. According to established hospital protocol, either you definitively have COVID or you absolutely do not. Either you have a clearly positive test result or you certainly do not. Are you also trying to inflate the numbers to scare people? And would it be too much to ask, Brother Let, for you to give us the proportion of those brothers and sisters who were hospitalized? Since you're explaining to us that some were diagnosed with COVID and others were not. That seems important to me because the way you phrased it makes it sound like all of them were connected to COVID, which is absolutely not the case. Out of the 1,407, how many were actually declared as COVID cases in the hospital? 1,410, for example. That completely changes everything. Don't you think so, Brother Let? Especially since, in just a moment, you're going to explain to us that the immense love of the governing body members compels them to share with us all the information we need. I'm quoting you here, Brother Let. We believe it would not be loving to refuse to tell you about this information. So already here, dear brothers and sisters, you can see the dishonesty of the governing body. 1,407 brothers and sisters hospitalized, but no idea how many of them were hospitalized for COVID. That could be anywhere from 1 to 1,406. It's up to you to choose or imagine. In fact, this information isn't really of much use to us. My dog is barking. I don't feel like re-recording the video. Hold on. Tonio. Phew. Stop. All right, that's good. Where was I? He's obedient. I'm lucky. Where was I? Dishonesty, governing body. There we go. Actually, as I was saying, this information isn't really of much use to us because Brother Let is deliberately hiding crucial information from us. But worst of all, those 1,407 brothers and sisters who were hospitalized were actually, and please do get this important point, maybe all fully vaccinated individuals. So you might be wondering how I can know that. Well, it's Brother Let himself who tells us. Let me repeat his sentence for you. Among them, so among the 1,407 who are mixed between COVID and non-COVID cases, less than 2% were fully vaccinated. End of quote. Brother Let doesn't tell us that 99% of the brothers and sisters weren't vaccinated, but rather that they weren't fully vaccinated. In fact, they didn't have the full vaccination schedule. But it's possible that many of them, maybe even all of them, had received 1 shot, 2 shots. We don't know, since Brother Let also didn't think it necessary to give us this valuable information. Brothers of the governing body, did you ask these 1,400 brothers and sisters why they weren't fully jabbed? If it was because of side effects from their first shot, as is possible, I hope for your sake that you wouldn't have had the indecency to hide this valuable information from us. The brother continues. Unfortunately, during that same period in the United States, 486 brothers and sisters died from COVID. Among them, less than 2% were fully vaccinated. And according to our information, those who were vaccinated and died had other serious health problems. End of quote. So, 486 brothers and sisters died, and among them only 1% were vaccinated. Well, that's false. Once again, we've fallen into the trap. Once again, Brother Let is actually telling us that 99% of those 486 brothers and sisters were not fully vaccinated, which means that they might have all actually been vaccinated, but not up to date with their 3rd dose, for example. We also have to remember that a significant number of people died within 2 weeks after the shot from adverse effects. And during those 2 weeks, all over the world, people who had gotten the shot were considered unvaccinated. Which means that, in absolute terms, these 486 brothers and sisters who died might actually all have been fully vaccinated. So, the reality is that among these 486 brothers and sisters who died, we have no idea how many of them had gotten the shot. So, Brother Let is giving us information that is very incomplete and, in reality, very misleading. Understand the subtlety here. Brother Let isn't exactly lying to us, but he's presenting the information in a misleading way. The brothers on the governing body know perfectly well that, on first hearing, most of us won't understand this information correctly. Even if Brother Let were being honest, wouldn't that be even worse? Why do I say that? Well, because Brother Let isn't just encouraging us to get vaccinated, but to be fully vaccinated. He's explaining to you that if you and your family want to live, you have to go all the way, he tells us, completely. 1, 2, 3, for if necessary. Stay with me because it's about to get even more interesting. The brother continues, these few numbers really make you think. End of quote. Our heartfelt thanks, Brother Let, for encouraging us to reflect on your numbers. So that's what we did, and what we discovered deeply dishonors Jehovah's organization. But the best is yet to come. The brother continues, we can also tell you that out of the 22,000 Bethelites and the 44,000 other full-time special servants who were vaccinated, We were only informed of 4 cases of serious reactions that could be linked to the vaccination. But fortunately, we now know that these people are doing well and that their overall condition is stable. End of quote. Okay, that's totally inaccurate. There aren't 22,000 Bethelites and 44,000 full-time special servants who were vaccinated. That's false. 22,000 Bethelites, not one more. 44,000 full-time special servants, not one more. Why don't they give the real numbers since they have them? Some will answer, they're just rounding the numbers, that's normal. Oh really? But in a few minutes, Brother Let is going to give us the number of brothers and sisters in the Bethel family who were vaccinated. And the number is very precise. 3,975. Normally, I never get involved in this kind of thing. But for once, I'm going to do it. Let me make it clear that I'm not claiming anything at all. Let's be clear about that. But these rounded numbers really surprised me. I had a bit of fun doing a little calculation. 22,000 plus 44,000, that gives us 66,000. In the Bible, the number 66 represents what is bad, evil, and 666 is simply a way to emphasize that wickedness. Knowing that all opponents of Jehovah's Witnesses are going to have a field day with this kind of coincidence, couldn't the organization have been more careful and communicated the actual numbers since they have them? You might say 66,000 isn't 666. It's missing a 6. Do you want some 6s? The brother explains to us that out of the 66,000 Jehovah's Witnesses, 4 had serious reactions to the shot. Out of curiosity, I tried dividing 4 by 66,000. And what do you get? 0.060606. What do you want me to say? What are the odds of picking 2 numbers at random and, with just one operation, getting this result? I don't know what to say. The brother goes on, we're giving you all this information so you can think about it when you make your decision about the shot. We think it wouldn't be loving to refuse to tell you about this information. As Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27 says, do not withhold good from those who need it. End of quote. So the brother explains to us that all this information, the strong encouragement to get 3 or 4 shots, is for our own good. The brother continues, we know it can be hard to make a wise decision when different opinions and conflicting reports are coming at us from the world. So it can be hard to know who to believe. But the numbers we just gave were reported by our brothers. We can have confidence. We hope this will be useful to you. End of quote. Notice that the brother is explaining to us that it can be difficult to make a wise decision. He doesn't say that it can be hard to make an important decision, but a wise one. What the brother is explaining is that depending on the decision we make, in this case, whether or not to get the shot, since that's clearly what he's been talking about from the start, we will have made either a wise or a foolish decision, since foolishness is the opposite of wisdom. Brother Let should know that when it comes to medical care, there is no such thing as a wise or foolish decision. There are only personal decisions that each person must make according to their own conscience. For example, no one will be allowed to imply that we lack wisdom because we chose to treat our cancer with alternative medicine rather than chemotherapy. So, except in exceptional cases, there is no wise or foolish decision when it comes to medical choices. There are simply different decisions. So, according to you, brothers and sisters, based on what our brother Let has just explained to us, what would he say is the so-called wise decision we should make if we and our family want to stay alive? To get the shot or not to get the shot? There you have it, brothers and sisters. Please never tell me again that the governing body didn't put any psychological pressure on us to get the shot. In this video, I only examined the first part of this 2021 update number 8. If you found it interesting, don't miss the second part of the analysis. I guarantee you it will be just as interesting, if not more. And I'm not even talking about my analyses of updates 9 and 10 that I'm going to prepare for you. Give it a thumbs up if you want, of course. To my right, the main video of this channel. To my left, you can click on the little ball to subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and see you very, very soon.